my dear friends, if you go to Itchy Meyer's house, and you can, you will hear that niggin. That niggin is the standard by the Rebbe, and that niggin takes you to good places, Baruch Hashem. I want us to understand how unbelievably blessed we are. That we are taught that there are Chamisha Yechidei Hadoros. There were 5 great souls that came down to the world that would be teachers for all the generations. That even though every single soul and every single person is special, there were 5 exceptional neshamas that were sent as beacons of light to guide us. And the first was Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses, our teacher. Moshe Rabbeinu was a great soul. It's great how to even use words to describe. The Torah says that he was toiv. He was good. So like, oh yeah, good. Like that's, yeah, good. Well, good means that when he was born, the entire existence filled with light. Good means light. And we intuitively know that light is something good. Darkness is something, good light. Like the light of warmth, of hope. And Moshe Rabbeinu came down to the world as the savior to help guide the Jewish people out of Mitzrayim. Not only that, to go up to Har Sinai to receive the Torah and to teach us. That's why he's Moshe Rabbeinu, our teacher. And then the generations went on, and another great luminary, a great light came to the world. His name was Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the author of the Zohar, which is also light. The one that revealed the secrets of Kabbalah to us. And it says in the Zohar that there's a portion of the Zohar called Rai Mehemna, which means the faithful shepherd. And you know who was called the faithful shepherd? Moshe Rabbeinu. Which means that it was the soul of Moshe Rabbeinu having a reincarnation inside of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Yeah, it gets complex in the world of souls. But the soul of Moshe Rabbeinu coming inside the soul of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and revealing more secrets, things that he had not yet told us by Har Sinai, and revealing those secrets on a deeper level. And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai v'Chevraya and his great students started to shine this great light of hope. Like it says in the Zohar, B'das Sifra, Yaskin Yisrael Galus Barachne, that with this Sefer, Dahi Sefer HaZohar, we will come out of our long exile. And that hope will be through learning Pnimius HaTorah and the secrets of Torah. And that the hope will be not just to have a basic relationship with God, but to have an exceptionally deep relationship with God. To not just have a basic marriage, checkbox, yotzi, flowers, auto-repeat, renew subscription automatically every Erev Shabbos for the next 8 years, which is a nice thing. But a marriage of depth, of warmth, of yearning, that's the world of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And then another great soul came into the world. 1,400 years later, the soul of the Arizal. And the soul of the Arizal would take the teachings of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and he would just explode those teachings with great depth and description and vivid description that had never been seen before, that had been left to remez, that had been left to analogy and hint, that the Ari just started to describe everything with description. And that light started to spread through the world, and great miracles started happening in the times of the Ari, and the description of souls and neshamas and gilgulim where souls travel to and transmigrate to, whether it be mineral, plant, animal life, human life, and describing the whole spiritual ecosystem of reality. And then another great soul came to the world, the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh. And the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh, the ore of the Shivas Yemei Bereshis, the great light, the ore of the Baal Shem, the master of the good name, which meant that he had a good name and he was into Shemus. He knew the names of God. He knew how to understand the Shemus. And he said that God is not far. God is very close to you. And you don't even have to be some fancy Kabbalist to be close to God. In your every single day life, He's with you. Which was really the deepest part of Kabbalah, really, is showing that it's not an ivory tower for those academics, but it's in the simple avodah of a yid, of a bus driver, of a person having lunch with his kids. And that moment is the deepest experience that you could have, and you're in that moment and be there in that moment. And the Baal Shem Tov created a renaissance of love. And then that Baal Shem Tov had a great grandson, Rabbi Nachman from Breslov. And Rabbi Nachman brought a great light to the world that had not been seen before, where he went all the way up, and showed us that that light is not somewhere, but so with you now. And even if you've fallen, you could find light in that place. And even if you're in the most difficult places in your life, Hashem will schlep you out with your payas. Somebody asked me a couple of days ago, I wouldn't say a zero fate on the side, but he's like, could he still find these types of payas, you know? And the answer is yes, of course. And Rabbi Nachman gave us this connection that is so rich, that is so deep, and that his light will go until Mashiach. So when I said we are so blessed, we're literally tapping into this ore, which is really the ore of Rabbi Moshe Rabbeinu, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the Arizal, the Baal Shem Tov, and Rabbi Nachman. And we're sitting here drinking a couple cups of espresso in Yerushalayim Ir HaKodesh, together, tzazamen, and the light is only growing. The light of Rabbi Nachman is growing. It's growing stronger and stronger all the time. And that's why we have a Rabbi Nosson Chabura also, which is Rabbi Nosson even took that light and said, let me just explain everything that Rabbi Nachman was talking about. And it's amazing. You see those that are attracted to Breslov is everybody. I was speaking to a friend of mine recently that was in Uman. He's like, every Yid is there. Every Yid. It's no longer a bunch of Breslovs. Litvishers. Every type of chassid is there. Sfardi, Pashut. Everybody's there. All the Yidden are there. Every type of Jew. I don't like the word sect. That's feels like a dirty word. Every Yid. Every type of Yid is there. Because they know that there's an ore here. Come to my shul on Friday night. Every type of Yid is there. Strimal, no strimal, this type of hat, this type of thing, this kippah, no kippah, rainbow kippah, everything. White socks, black socks, these ones, and these all have things, you know what I'm saying? Everybody knows, the white socks and the black socks, these are inyanim. But there, everyone has a home by Rabbeinu. And you feel that. You feel that he's carrying a torch from those that came before him, and that torch is getting brighter and brighter. And now, all of us, in a humble way, he's passing that torch to us. So here we go. Tinyana Beis, my friends. We're in this Torah, which is mamish amazing. It's all about Hanukkah. Even though we said that we're only going to get that Hanukkah in a month. He starts, this is all Hanukkah. We'll see Hanukkah again in a month. And that's one of the things you have to pay attention to in Rabbi Nachman. That he'll mention an inyan, and then he'll almost hold, and then you have to go on this journey with Rabbi Nachman, and then you'll see how he brings you back around. He weaves it all together, weaves. So we said that Hanukkah is all about, this is our 30-second summary, Hanukkah is all about giving thanks. To be a human being that can acknowledge, we spoke a lot about acknowledging another, not living in a narcissistic world where it's the me show, but living in a world where there's other, i.e. other people, havrusas. How does a burger say it? Why do you want to marry that girl? Because you love yourself, and not because you love her, you love yourself. And if you really loved her, you'd give her to a really nice guy, It's funny, it's funny. It's not nice.
It's true. But
Rav Berger's trying to point out, we're so selfish. We're so selfish. And I find, but when you're able to say thank you, you're really able to acknowledge that there's a reality bigger than yourself. And then we said that being able to say thank you is essentially the entire pleasure of the world to come. Because being able to say thank you means I can acknowledge that there's a place where goodness is coming, and I become close to somebody that I could acknowledge. So too Hashem. When I can acknowledge that Hashem is giving me all of this good, I become closer and closer to the creator of heaven and earth. And then we said that all of the pleasure of the world to come is learning halacha. And Rabbi Nachman explained that halacha is distilled God will. The will of God distilled from multiplicity, made into something very distilled forward. We said kol hashayin halachas b'chol yom muftach lo yishu bein olam haba. We spoke about what a ben olam haba is. Then we spoke about kol hacham yoiducha sela, that these 4 people are obligated to say thank you, those who went through those troubles. And then we said in the end of days that the only korban in the Beis HaMikdash is going to be what? The korban toida. Everything else is going to be batul. The only thing that humanity is going to be doing is coming to the Beis HaMikdash and saying toda rabba. They have the Osher Ad stickers. Toda Abba. You seen that with the Osher Ad symbol? Toda Abba. Or Abba Toda. Just Tati, thank you. Thank you. And what else is there to do but say thank you? Try this, my friends, actually. Try in your hisboidedus, when you're speaking to God. A lot of times hisboidedus and the kind of cycle we get into psychologically is just Tati, help me. Shidduch! Should have bought when it was 22K Bitcoin. Help me. Whatever's going through your moach. But it's hook me up, shkoyah, hook me up. And it's a very nice thing. You're in the relationship. But try in your hisboidedus to just stop yourself and just say, thank you Hashem for this. Thank you for my wife. Thank you that I have hands. Thank you that I'm in Yerushalayim HaKodesh. Thank you that I have good friends. Thank you that I have clothing. Thank you that I have kids. Speaking for the married guys. Thank you that I have the ability to appreciate beauty. Start saying thank you. You almost feel like this is an anxiety dissolver. It starts dissolving stress. A lot of stress is I don't have it yet. It's already pumping 89K. I don't have. But when you can go back to just thank you, all of a sudden your neurological system will relax. You start feeling your body and your muscular skeletal system just your jaw muscles will just start relaxing. TMJ just calms down. what I'm saying? So everything's like, thank you. You see how much good you have. It's very pleasurable also. You feel the feeling and the sensation of when you just start saying thank you for things. It's very pleasurable. So that's the Shashua Olam Haba. Then Rabbi Nachman took us to a next phase. Okay? I want to see this next phase. I'm so thankful for all the money I have. I'm just the flow is like popping out of me. Take it off. Okay, so look at this paragraph. I said that Rabbi Nachman is going to take us into our body. And he's going to do something nifla here. And even gets into something mature. So let's see. Ubishvil zeh, what the paragraph bishvil zeh. Ubishvil zeh, mechun ha-Torah b'shem halacha. The Torah is called halacha. Excuse me, Toida. A Toida is called halacha. Ki Toida nevi'in k'sheyoytze mitzara. When do you bring a korban Toida? When you come out of a painful situation and you say, thank you, Hashem. Thank you. That's the halacha of Beis HaMikdash. Kol achan yaduch hasela. You would bring a korban Toida. You cross the desert, bring a korban Toida. We do it nowadays that the guy comes to the bima and he says, a goimel. The goimel is the Toida. Those 4 people make a goimel. A woman who gives birth says a goimel. That's a halacha, and she tries to do it in front of 10 people. Usually, if it's a boy, they do it by the bris, or if it's a girl, they do it by the kiddush. She says a toida. She brings a toida. Thank you, Hashem. Like having birth is not pashut. We'll talk about birth actually. In Ois Gimel, he's going to go into a very deep side about birth that most people probably didn't think about. Something, and he shows you physiologically that's happening in a woman's body when she's giving birth. A very deep Indian. Now look what he says. When a person comes, now he's bringing you first to the tsar. Let's go into the challenging situation for a minute. When you're in that tsara chas v'shalom, as I ikarat tsara belev, the pain is felt in the heart. The heart is the organ that Hashem made to feel. To feel. Ki alev yoidei u'margish atzar b'yosef k'moshe kosov, like King Solomon, the wisest of all men, taught us in Mishlei, Leiv yoidei amaris nafshay. My heart knows the bitterness that I'm going through. And even in regular secular vernacular, my heart is broken, my heart is aching. You don't mean something physical, even though sometimes there is a sensation in that area, like a tightness, an anxiety there, even though this is a spiritual thing. But spiritual things affect us physiologically. There's a big yesod in the Rambam, by the way, understanding how things psychologically start affecting you physically. That's the power of the mind. I told this over. I love the Rambam. My father-in-law's a bucky in Rambam. He really brought me into the world of the Rambam. I told a lot of guys this. That remember when Avram Avinu threw the dust, and Chazal say they turned into arrows. So that's a miracle, right? I never saw dust turn into arrows and destroy an enemy through arrows. So that would be more an understanding, I would say, in a Kabbalistic model or a more Ramban model of the world. The Rambam says no. You know what happened? He threw dust. The enemies thought that the dust was like poison. So when he threw the dust, they thought that he was throwing like anthrax or something, some poison at them. So, and they psychologically start, oh my goodness, it's on us, it's on us. Psychologically, they became so involved in their mind that this was poison that it started to affect them like it was arrows that were shot at them. The Rambam. I love that. You understand that understanding of the Rambam? The understanding is, it was all in their minds. I mean, according to the Ramban, if I would have taken a picture of the enemies of Avram Avinu, there would be arrows in them. According to the Rambam, if I would have taken a picture, it's dust. And they're like, Avram, you shot arrows at us. And he's looking, and they just have dust on them. But it felt like arrows because psychologically, their mind was so powerful. In the Rambam, your mind is so powerful. So the heart feels things also. The heart is a very real place. And the heart is where is the kli, is the vessel that Hashem designed in your body to feel things. And therefore you want to use your heart. You want to be a heart-oriented human being. The heart has two parts. The Tanya speaks about this. We'll have to save this for another time. But the heart feels a lot. Ki halev mevin. The heart understands things. The heart's both a feeling organ, call it kli, and the heart is also a understanding organ, kli. Valkein hu margish atzara biyoser. Now watch this. Va'az b'shas atzara. So we see also when there is a difficult time, miskansim kol hadomim va'olam el halev. When the body is going through some difficult traumatic experience, so the heart, the blood will rush to the heart to preserve. When there's some traumatic thing, sometimes the person will become clammy or cold by the extremities as a way of preserving. The simple physiological description of that would be that it's going to critical organs to preserve and maintain the life of the human being in the critical organs. A person can, God forbid, we want all of our organs, live if the hands are, but you can't live without a heart. You need the heart. So that blood and puts its energy towards the critical organs. Like a person in shock. The circulation is not great by the extremities at moments like that. Now, look at what the Rebbe says. He explains the physiology of a human being and when it's going through a trauma to what's happening when there's a trauma, God forbid, in the community. Look how he's showing you in your own body, we're being taught how to understand the world. These are all chas v'shaloms, obviously. Whenever there's, God forbid, a trauma in a certain place, so everybody comes to the tzaddik. Everybody comes to the tzaddik. Also, many, many stories during the war. That when the Nazis would come, Yamach Shemam, that where did everybody run? They'd run to the tzaddik. You run to the tzaddik. You run, what should we do? All the extremities are running to the tzaddik, the heart. They're all gathering around the tzaddik. There's certain times that things were happening, there's nowhere to go. I'd go to Rabbi Nachman. You're safe by the tzaddik. You go there for counsel. How do we understand the next steps forward? You go to the tzaddik. You go towards the heart. L'kabel memenu etza, to get advice. You also see from this that the heart must have some type of advice that it's trying to give us. So too all the blood in the body, when there's some type of a challenge, it rushes to the heart. How do I get out of this challenge? How do I get out? How do we solve this problem? You go to the tzaddik. The blood rushes to the heart. Vazehem shoitfim el alev. They course and rush to the heart. So look what happens. And we see this physiologically. As halev b'tzara, so the lev has two problems. Number one, the lev feels the tzara the most, but now, all of a sudden, all the blood is like, help us. It's rushing up to the heart. So the tzaddik, let's now go to the tzaddik. The tzaddik, when there's a challenge in the world, the tzaddik is feeling it. The tzaddik feels. Not only that, then he has 10,000 chassidim that are like, help us. So he's even more feeling it. He feels it etzim, the etzim, the tzaddik feels it, and then he feels it even more because now he's being just rushed with others who are feeling it and in need. Yes, my friend.
Can I ask you something? This is great, but it's like obviously, when you're feeling something bad, the first part of your body who's going to feel it is your heart. I think the question is how can we feel the same, or maybe yes, how can we be present? How can we say thank you to Rabbi Hashem that I have this, but with good things? Because when you have something bad and you survive that, it's very easy to say Hashem to Rabbi, thank you because I am not dead. That's very easy. The problem is when I have everything, when I don't have any problem, when I am not sick, I have money, I have my family, I have my car, I have my own house. How can I create the same reaction, but saying to Rabbi that I have all of this? Because when you have something bad and you survive, it's a little obvious to say Hashem to Rabbi. I think it should be the other way. There is a very famous history in Mexico, in the Beta Knesset. It's across the road. So a guy who always came to Shacharit, once almost he's get hit by a car. So the next day he buy a lot of things and a good breakfast because I am not dead. Wow, thank you. The next day, another person of the same Beta Knesset, same Shacharit, also give us a very good breakfast. And people ask him, why did you get the breakfast? You two almost get hit by a car. And he said, no, I am going to this Beta Knesset 2 years ago and I never hit by a car. So I'm going to say thank you because nothing bad is happening to me now. So how can we take all of this and say thank you when we have all the good? Because I think no one here needs anything important. We are alive, we have family, we have money, we are in the yeshiva, we are in Israel, in a country, in a war, studying Torah, taking coffee, So how can we say thank you to this? But thank you with your heart, not thank you. Really thank you.
So we have to learn from this Yid that for 2 years never got hit by a car, and that he was able to say thank you for that. And we have to learn to say thank you. And the Gemara really says if a person doesn't have any challenges for 40 days, it's not so good. It's not so good. We all have challenges. We all have stuff that comes up. We all know people going through stuff. We know things that are happening. The world is going through a lot of tsar. Humanity is going through tsar. You don't have a Beis HaMikdash. The tzaddikim every night, in the middle of the night, wake up and just cry that we don't have a Beis HaMikdash. The Shechina is b'tzar. Kaviyachal. How could it be we don't have a Beis HaMikdash? How could it be that the majority of the Jewish people don't even know that they were created? How could it be? How could we be so lost as humanity? That should be a tsar for us, to start feeling it. To start not only feeling my own personal tsar, but the tsar of other people around me, things that people are going through. The more that we become community people, we see that when someone else is going through a tsar, it should affect me. It should affect me. We speak about someone being a gadol. A gadol means great. A gadol b'Yisrael, the greatest sages of the Jewish people. So a gadol, it's an interesting term. He's gadol. He's big. What do you mean? He's tall. Like Rabbi. Like he's not gadol in height. It means he's big. But big in what? Big in Torah? No, big in everything. If you go to a chasana, Who's the happiest person dancing at the chasana? Either the brother of the chassan, yo bro, yeah, you're married. Let's go, you're done. You're married. Or the guy's chavrusa, he's close to him. Or a gadol that walks in. A very big rabbi is dancing like crazy. Why is he so happy? I feel your happiness. People that are big feel. Lahavdil, lo aleinu. Who's the one that's crying the most at a funeral? Either the close of kin or a gadol. A gadol might not even have met the person or known the person. A gadol b'Yisrael, he's crying and crying and crying. He feels, he's gadol in everything. He's the most tapped in. So maybe one of the ways that we could feel that is if I just feel, I become a, like Rasmus was saying, Klal Yisrael Yid. I become a community person, and I start feeling what others are going through. It will help me. It will help me to feel that there's also people that are going through things, and then I could also say todah with them as they get out of those challenges. So the tzaddik feels the most. The tzaddik is all of the dam coming to the lave. But look what it says. Ubedoicha gadol. The lave feels the most as all the blood is rushing to the lave. So not only does the lave is at the place that feels the most, but as the blood is coming to the heart, so it's not overwhelmed. God forbid that's the next level. If it's overwhelmed, something else happens, God forbid. But the heart is bedoichak, goes through stress. Ki loy dai shalev doig ba'atzmai. Not only that the heart itself feels, ki u margish atzar b'yos mekulam, af gam adamim shoytfim alav v'meit u'mitzeirin loy me'oid. That the blood is going there and it's causing even more pain. Yeah, Yaakov.
I know there's a lot of jaddals, including the Rosh Hashivita, who have stomach issues. Is it this idea that it leads to the struggle to digest the world?
Yes, to digest reality is that everything in our body, from my body, I see God. So your body is really giving you indications of things that are going on in the spiritual world. A lot of Gedol, the Arizal, had big stomach problems. You do and many tzaddikim, because they're digesting like a lot. When there's so much bad in the world, so it's not easy to like digest like razor blades. It's like that kind of cuts up the stomach. So they see what people are going through. So they're trying to like digest, so it shows up in the stomach. Yes, it's not a pasha thing, because they feel it. They feel it. And they're the ones that are trying to help things get digested in a healthy way, but they take the brunt of certain things. Valkein, and therefore, kasheyesh chas v'shalom tsar la'adam, and therefore, God forbid, when there's a tsara for a person, and we relate to this, halev doifik b'defikas gedolos, the heart starts beating faster and stronger. All of a sudden, you go through it; it's immediate physiological reaction, right? You're starting like check the guy's pulse. Like, bro, you are pumping. That is not 60 beats per minute. That is like, what happened? Some tsar happened where he feels there's a stress. It's amazing. The heart immediately starts pumping stronger. It's being put through a stress. It's an amazing physiological reaction to this. My heart starts like taking on this stress. B'shasat sarachas v'shalom. Okay. V'achar kach. But afterwards, once I'm able to overcome that stress and that challenge, kisheyoytze me'atzara, this is the classic example. Lo aleinu, we should never have this happen. A person realizes, where's my wallet? How fast does your heart start beating faster? In a second, boom, 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 boom. A second, it's already like, oh my goodness, right? The second you find your wallet, a second later, physiologically, your heart just slows right down. So the second you come out of the tzara, the heart goes back to normal rate, and the blood starts going around your body healthy again, and everything relaxes. Okay? As chayzrin taluchois hadamim. That word tahaluchois is the word halacha, which we'll see in a moment. Taluchois means the coursing of the blood. Leilach kaseder b'toich shvilei aguf. The blood starts going back into the normal functioning of my body. As soon as I get out of that tzara, meaning the tzara happens, all the blood courses to the heart, and there's stress in the heart. And in the same way, when there's a tzara in the community, all the blood goes to the heart, goes to the tzaddik. And the tzaddik is going to provide advice how we could get through this. Coursing to the heart in order to understand something, how to get through this. As soon as the tzara ends, through the advice, really, of the counsel of the heart, so then all of a sudden the blood goes back to the body in a healthy, normal way. And at that point, you really bring a toda. The moment the blood courses properly around the body, that's the moment now where the toda is brought. That's the moment where the toda is brought. Now look what he's going to say. Like we said before, the toda is halacha, and halacha is talucha. Talucha means the way the blood is going through the body in a healthy way. Rabbi Nachman's even showing you in the etymology that everything here is connected. Halacha, tahalucha. Talucha means the coursing of the body, the halicha, the normal functioning of the body. But at that point, it looks like halacha was suspended. There wasn't tahalucha. There was tsar. But when you come out of the tsara, or in other words, the way to get out of the tzara, back to the talucha of the blood properly, is through halacha. Letters hakala. Meaning toda. Meaning the Thanksgiving offering. Al shem talucha is adamim, kishaholchen keseder, kishayoytze me'atzara knir la'el. Says Rabbi Nachman, Gimel. Ubezeh ba haylada ben nakel. Okay, where's Yaakov? He made a move. This is a move. And everything we're discussing now is how birth occurs. The birth of a child. Okay, that's a move. That's a move. That's a big move. Like, oh, obviously, right? Like the birth of a child. So, this is very mature and it's so deep. It's just, Rabbi Nachman it's so beautiful. Like, it's so deep. And Rabbi Nachman's a baki also in everything. He shows you rayas from all over the place. Tanakh and Shas and Zoya, everything. Ki b'shasha isha kairas leiled. At the time that a woman is getting ready to give birth. Okay, that is a time that exists. There's before she's getting ready to give birth. There's after she's given birth. And then there's the time where she's getting ready. Literally, koiras leiled means that she's bending her legs in order to allow that the baby should come out. So Chazal say something very interesting. Yarchaiseya, that the legs mitztananois, become cold or stone-like. What does that mean, that the legs become cold? So physiologically what it means is that all of the blood in the normal talucha, all of the normal coursing of the blood around the body, has to go and concentrate in the womb to fill that area and put energy in that area to help push this baby out. So the legs become different. And the Gemara says, K'moshe Amar Rabbi Zal, that was one of the ways that when Paro told all of the cops over there in Mitzrayim to go and make sure to kill all the babies. So he said you could tell that a woman's going to give birth soon because her legs become stone and cold. Because it means that they're getting ready, and therefore stay close. Because after she gives birth, go take that baby, Hashem Yirachim, and kill it. Hashem Yirachim. Va'ali dezeh, through this, Baruch Hashem, that Hashem designed it, that the blood doesn't stay at the extremities at that moment, but it's concentrating in the place of the womb that's going to allow it's a lot of energy to push a baby out. It's not a pasha thing. This is a Va'ali dezeh naseh ha'ilada. Through this, she's able to give birth. Same concept of the blood rushing to the heart when there's a challenge, the heart giving some type of a counsel, and then everything going back into a healthy state. Same vision, same analogy, blood rushing to the womb to allow for something to happen, in this case to give birth to a child. After the birth, then everything starts to course in a healthy way again. The blood was needed in that area in order to allow for the birth to happen. Ki hadamim oilam lamala. Next page. Va'azai nidchak hamokum sham. As the blood is going up to that area, so that area is becoming stressed, just like the blood coming to the heart. The heart becomes stressed, starts beating faster. As the blood is coming to the womb, everything is contracting. It's allowing for the contractions to happen. It's pushing energy to that area to allow that we have to push this baby out. That's a big deal. A baby is not small. It has to come out of a woman. So that needs a lot of energy to come to that area in order to birth something. So when it comes to womb, we're talking about a child, but Rabbi Nachman's talking about birthing something else. But that's just a symbol. That's an analogy of birthing other things. We're talking about birthing a higher state of consciousness. Through the tzara, through the stress, you're able to then birth a higher reality, which is called halacha. That's the talucha. That through that you're birthing new concepts in halacha. The Rebbe said, "V'mechadesh behalacha." Va'azehem doichim esavlad lachutz. That the blood rushes to the womb, so it's pushing the baby to come out. Va'achar kach, afterwards, chayzrim adam l'mkoimam. Shezeh bechinas toida halacha. This is halacha. This is the toida. Shu bechinas taluchay sadamim. Shachayzim leilech kaseder kanila el. The halacha is the haylada. The haylada is this birthing of this new state of consciousness that happened through the tzara. Through the tzara, you're going to birth new levels of consciousness. You're going to get to the tzara. We never wish a tzara upon a person, but Hashem is bringing the tzara in order to take you to another level of reality. That's what birth is always indicating. That there's a new you that's birthing, which is halacha, which is shashua olam haba. And that's what olam haba is going to be about, is a constant birth all the time. Birthing, 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 birthing. Neil.
I was just going to ask, when we're saying that the birth is compared to, like, I guess, birthing a new, idea for halacha, is that what we're comparing? So where does the heart fit into that part? As far as comparing birth to to birthing, creating a new idea or a new...
So in the way that we said that all the dam goes to the heart when there's stress,
Right.
and then the heart, after the stress passes, so everything calms down. So we said that the heart is like the tzaddik. That when the stress, the community all goes to the tzaddik, gets counsel. They're going there for counsel. The tzaddik, or the heart, which understands things, is able to provide a tikkun, to then help that the dam is able to go back to a healthy state. What we're saying when it comes to birthing, we're saying the same format, that the blood is coursing to that area. But now what we're talking about is that through that stress, you'll actually birth something. So in the heart, it would be the birthing of new insight from your heart, or insight from the tzaddik. And then when it comes to the womb, it's literally birthing child, or birthing new halacha, new reality, new connection to God. Halacha being that distilled will of God. Halacha, same letters as talucha, healthy movement. The halacha brings the talucha. The halacha will bring about the seder again. Yes, Young.
How does the birthing, you're saying like birthing is like halacha because it because all the blood flows in there and then it creates new, like how is that halacha, like the same, the thank you? Where's the thanks in that?
The thank you is that I'm acknowledging that there's something more, something else. I'm able to connect and give hoda'ah. That I wasn't able to see something, and now I could see it. That's one part of hoda'ah we spoke about. Another part of hoda'ah is when I go through a stress, I now say thank you. So the stress of birth, a woman also gives a toida and says a goimel after birth. That as the baby is coming out, that's a big stress. That the toda is, I went through this challenge, something greater came out of it. There was somebody that was in yeshiva, and this has happened many times since, but this was one of the first times many years ago, and he was going through like a very big challenge, a psychological challenge and stuff, and I really believed in him. I thought that he had all the tools to really get through this challenge. And I said, you're not going to be better despite this. And you're not going to be great despite this challenge. You're going to be great because of this. And I didn't hear from him for some time. And then a couple years later, they sent like a WhatsApp thing to one of the other rabbis, and he said, can I play this for you? So he said, I just want to send a message to Moshe Chaim. Can you please play this for him? And he said, you should know, when you said those words, you're not going to be better despite this. You're going to be great because this challenge you're going through. He said, that flipped everything I ever understood about this challenge I was going through, that I thought that this is like the worst thing. And I realized that this challenge, this Sarah, is going to birth something out of this. That there's a reason why I'm going through this, and this was part of a destiny of why I'm put here. And I am so much better, not despite this, because this transformed me in some unbelievable way. And now this person was helping other people that were going through those types of challenges, that he saw that there was a reason why he went through this. I was speaking to somebody recently who had a heart attack, at a young age. And he was going through a process where he described to me, he said, I realized that heart attack saved my life, because there was other things that I couldn't do. And certain situations that I went through where I would have been mingling with bad people and bad substances, and I don't know where I would have been, but because I went through this challenge, it kept me away from certain things. He said, we were talking it through. He's like, it literally saved my life that I went through that. Yeah, young.
Can you repeat that quote one more time?
that you're going to be better and great, not despite what you're going through, but you're going to be better and you're going to be great because of this challenge you're going through. Which takes the challenge out of it being a b'diavad. Despite it means like, oh, despite this, like hopefully, like this is like so not what should be happening. It's like fighting the challenge. And better because of it means that this is meant to build me and this is going to birth me. And this is going to birth something. Birth is not easy. I'm not speaking from experience, obviously, but that's what my wife tells me, and it seems that way. It's not pashut, and Chazal said it's not pashut. Like, I don't think you have to be a big chacham to understand that. Like, it's intense. So why do women want to do it? Because they realize that this is going to create something so great. This is going to build the world up in a way that needs to be built. That they realize that this is something that I want to go through. I want to go through it because there's a reason for this. There's a reason for this. Many women describe that the experience of the Shekhinah at the time of birth is beyond anything else. Without getting into a question, should a person take certain things that they don't feel the experience or they do feel the experience? Those are personal questions. That's up to a person, their doctor, and their own what they think is the right thing for them. But there's different approaches to this. Something called an epidural. Each person, what they think is the most healthy and right for them. There are those, though, that feel that they want to experience that. They feel that is part of the whole experience of it. That they're going to be great, not despite of what's happening, but because of what we're going through. So Rabbi Nachman he's taking us to the next phase in this Torah. He's taking us into our own selves. He's taking us to a world of hoda'ah, to a world of halacha, to a world of tzara, to the world of our heart, to the world of birth, to the world of shashua olam haba, the pleasures of the world to come. I always love that we have 2 days in a row for Likutei Cafe because it gets you in the zone. And we should be zoicha, my friends, to all the brachas of the shashua olam haba, to all the brachas of giving birth to something greater, to being close to the tzaddik emes, the leiv, to being people that feel. And we should be zoicha mamish that once and for all, that the ultimate makom, the leiv ha'olam, Yerushalayim Yer HaKodesh, the heart of the world, will once again finish this time of tsar and this time of pain. And the heart that feels so much will be healed once and for all with the coming Mashiach and that blessing that's promised for the entire of humanity. The binyan beis hamikdash b'mehera v'yameinu. Amen. Amen. Ein shum yeveya, ein shum yeveya, ein shum yeveya, v'avayla. Rabbeinu shalom b'kol gavada. Ein shum yeveya, ein shum yeveya, ein shum yeveya, v'avayla. Mitzvah gedolah liyom b'sim. Liyam b'simcha, b'simcha tavamim, mitzvah gedolah, liyam b'sim, liyam b'simcha, b'simcha tav. Words are easy. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, mitzvah gedolah, liyam b'sim. Liyam b'simcha, b'simcha tavamim, mitzvah gedolah, liyam b'sim, liyam b'simcha, b'simcha tavamim. Shachris.